now send you up to the booth and welcome in Steve Schwartz on play-by-play and John Coyne on color commentary.
Good evening. It's November 9th, 2018, and we are here at Fitzpatrick Stadium for the Class A North Regional Final between the Oxford Hills Vikings and your Portland Bulldogs. This is Steve Schwartz along with John Kilbride for John Coyne tonight, Luke Hill on camera, and tonight joined, as always at the beginning, by Mike Hoffer from the Forecaster in the fifth quarter. Mike, let's talk a little bit about Oxford Hills. They have Colton Carson, who is the Class A North quarterback leader.
Yeah, he's had a terrific season. Although, when the two teams played a few weeks ago up in South Paris, it was probably his worst game of the year. I'm expecting him to revert back to form tonight and play very well. He can run the ball and throw the ball with equal aplomb, and certainly he's going to be the focal point of the Portland defense. I think Parker LaFrance is another Viking to keep an eye on. But really, I think for Oxford Hills, if they want to get to the state final, they're going to go as Colton Carson goes, and that's going to pose quite a problem for the Portland defense. When they played 4 or 5 weeks ago up in South Paris, Portland was very confident going into that game that they had a plan to limit what Carson could do, and they did that very thing. We'll see if they can do it twice, though, because I think doing it a second time will be tough. Portland's got the guns on defense to be able to hold up, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, in fact, Carson had 14 yards on 10 carries against Portland. He was only 4 of 17, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. On the other hand, against Oxford Hills, Zach Elowich had 169 yards on 34 carries. Sam Nope had 2 rushing touchdowns, and they were really firing on all cylinders, though they had a few problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when they met before, the only offense this team really got was Portland's penalties. Portland was horrendous with penalties. They kept them in the game, and this is what they've got to do tonight. We saw it last week. They cleaned up with penalties. They got to play penalty-free football. Everybody's got to be present for the Bulldogs, and they'll be able to shut them down. I have no doubt whatsoever if all the Bulldogs show up and they play clean football, they'll shut this powerhouse team down.
Well, against Cheverus, Oxford Hills won their one playoff game 36-6. Carson had a 20-yard run and a 7-yard run for touchdowns. LaFrance, whom you spoke about, had a 5-yard run for a touchdown. Brown, a 75-yard run. And Turner, an 86-yard pass from Carson. So they had a great game against Cheverus. But Portland had a great game against Edward Little. And you voted this week, in fact, in favor of Portland to win this game.
Yeah, I think, Portland has talked all year about how they want to play at Fitzy, and this is the reason why. You want this game here. We saw what a great crowd Oxford Hills had up there. This is Portland's chance now to ride the momentum and the energy of the home crowd, be on the field that they're so familiar with, and what they really want is be back here again next week for one more game, the big one. But they're going to have a tall task to get through it. But I think Portland, with their strong defense, their ability to control the ball on offense, I think that, presuming they don't shoot themselves in the foot, I like their chances to advance.
Folks, we had a chance to talk with Coach Hartman and several of the Portland players. Coach, you're 8-1 this year, and it seems like every year you find something a little bit different with your teams. And this year, of all years, it seems like you have really gotten the most out of your players in all kinds of different ways. What's your take on your team this year versus years past?
Well, I think we're a little stronger on defense, for sure. I think we're a little bit faster. And every team has its own personality, and we're settling, just finding our personality now on offense, and the toss, and a little belly play that we run fairly well. And we're beginning to be quite efficient in the spread when we want to be. So.
And Coach, here you have a stalwart running back in Zach Elowich. It's nothing new to you. You've had stalwart running backs in years past, but it seems as though you also have so many other tools in that position at fullback.
Well, we played a bunch of different guys, but we just put Mariba in there last week. Had a heck of a game. He's had a great week of practice. I thought he'd be Zach's backup, so we didn't really want him at the fullback spot. He's a little smallish, but he's a tough kid. And he's playing extremely well now, and he'll probably be the fullback the rest of the way. And we needed Levine on guard when Howell got hurt, so.
And he certainly stepped in. In fact, he does step in many different roles, doesn't he?
Ben is a complete football player. He's a football player. Brightest kid out here. He can play guard, whatever we ask him to do. Any position in the backfield, except for quarterback, a center, guard, whatever we ask him to do.
So, Coach, do you need to even motivate your team for this Friday night's game? And if so, what are you going to tell them?
You always try to motivate them, but they probably don't need to be motivated. I don't need to say too much, I hope. I think they know what's at stake. This senior class, I don't know if people are aware of their record, but this is 4 conference championships for them. They have a 745 winning percentage as a senior class, and if they do make it, this is their 3rd state championship game, and they've been big part of us since sophomore grade. One of them started as a freshman, and 6, 7 of them started as maybe 8 started as 3-year starters.
Well, it's very
a big part.
It's very kind of you to also give the credit to your team and to the players. The fact is, Coach, when you're in the game this much, you also deserve that credit, and we wish you continued success in this playoff season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you kindly. Ben, you've had a tremendous year this year. You've done everything that the coach has asked you to do. The question I have is, do you have a favorite position?
I probably like cornerback or defensive back just because that's the position I've kind of stayed at the longest. I feel like that's where I kind of fit best into the defense. Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you, Coach said that you are one of the smartest or the smartest player on the field, that you have a football pedigree, if you will. Your dad seems to as well, because he's in the booth and he really, really knows what he's talking about. Where did y'all get your football prowess?
Honestly, I play a lot of Madden. I get a lot from that, but no, I try and watch, a lot of film every week against whoever we're playing. I like to know, what different guys are doing, so if I have to fill in or sub for different guys, I know what I'm doing. And so that kind of gives me a knowledge of what's happening on the field.
Now, this year you've been fullback. You've hit the line when Howell was hurt in both ways. You seem to really be able to do it all. You talked about liking defense better, but how does it feel when you get that ball and you're the first man through?
Really being the running back and all the carries, it was never something that really mattered to me. I've been lineman pretty much my whole life up until this point. It's fun, but I like blocking for my guys just as much.
Well, you do a great job and continued success, Captain Ben Levine.
Thank you.
We're here with Koa Farnsworth, who is captain of one of the 4 senior co-captains, and you're a 2-way lineman. First of all, let me just ask you, do you have a preference?
Defense always. I just like to hit people, and on defense I just get the opportunity to just go around, just hit people all the time whenever I want.
Well, let me just ask you, you are the captain of the line, and so to speak, and you have such a great line. What do you say to motivate your teammates?
Well, mostly I don't have to say much to motivate them. We've all been close to the gold ball a couple times, and we just want to finish it this year, and we're all really motivated to have our senior year just be a good one.
All right, well, great. Well, we wish you continued success, Koa.
All right, thank you.
Senior co-captain Ben Stasium. Ben, what a year you've had. We call you Ben the Stadium Stasium. You are always making a big play, whether it's a pick 6 or a punt return for a touchdown or something. Just what motivates you on the field?
That's kind of like my job, is to come in and make a big play, like either get a long catch or a punt return or something like that. Kind of either change the momentum or keep the momentum going our way. Just a big play will always do that.
It really does. And are you thinking of that when you're out there? This is a good spot for me.
Definitely, yeah. In a few games, there's definitely been points where it's like, okay, this could really be a big time where we need to score. Like in the Lewiston game, we kind of started off slow, and then the punt return got us going. Stuff like that really is like what I think about when I'm trying to get a big play. Just a certain scenario will get me there.
So what have you been thinking about with respect to the Oxford Hills team?
Oxford Hills, obviously a great team. Beat them by 3. We just have to go out there and play our best game, our fundamental game. And just, I guess, play our game is all we can really do.
All right, well, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Nate, what a year you've had. You lead Class A North in sacks. You may lead the state in sacks. You had 4 in the last game. We think maybe 4.5 even. What motivates you on the field?
we never like to lose, so I was ready for the game, and that's the result of hard work, I believe.
Well, that's right. And in fact, one of those sacks, I mean, you just broke through. I don't even think you were blocked, and then you just sprinted for a 14-yard loss for the quarterback that last game. So I assume that gives you some extra, when you see that, it just gives you extra motivation to get out there and do it again.
Sure, yeah, like when you do something and then I feel like I don't even remember if I was blocked or not, but that was wide open. I was going straight to the quarterback because he got the ball. So what we're looking for is the ball, so I had to go straight up for the ball.
What do you like better, offense or defense?
I love defense. Defense is my favorite thing. In football, I can play defense for a whole day. I don't really mind.
Offense can look kind of fun, but defense wins championships, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Yeah, but that's true though. Like, defense won the championship, and that's what we're looking for.
All right, you go for it.
Thanks.
Senior co-captain Zach Elowich. Zach, for 4 years, you have been an outstanding player. Each year, playing a little bit more, wanting the ball. This year, you're getting the carries. You are certainly making the most of it. How do you like getting the ball so often?
Yeah, it's nice. In the past years, I've watched great running backs in Portland like Esposito, Archambault, and Bolduc, and it's great to get my opportunity to carry the ball and see what I can do.
Well, and what you can do, in fact, is you lead Class A North in yardage. I believe you lead now in touchdowns as well. All that happens, and yet also you are such a great defensive and special teams player. I remember a time when you were in 8th grade, and you had one of the most massive hits that I saw on a punt returner here at Fitzpatrick Stadium, and I said, we all felt like this young man is going places. How do you like defense?
Obviously defense is a very important side of the ball. I just like, come out and whatever we're in, special teams, offense, defense, I just want to do whatever I can to help us win the game.
Final question here. It takes an awful lot of people to bring you down. What do you attribute that to?
Well, honestly, I just, I want to get as many yards as I can. I want to put us in the best opportunity to do well. So, I just, try to keep my legs turned and just, get as many yards as I can.
Well, best wishes to you in the playoff games to come.
Thank you.
So as you can see, Coach Hartman, who really deserves so much credit for year in and year out, taking all of his talent, the many running backs that he's had over the years, using the tools in his kit all together, and really firing on all cylinders this year. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And for Portland, I know they're hoping they're going to get one more. So good luck to the Bulldogs.
John and I are going to bring you all of the exciting action, laryngitis and all, in a moment. Here we go, folks. Christo Vumpa set to kick off. The ball taken at the 10 by number 3, Alex Turner. So about a 15-yard return where it'll be 1st and 10. The ball on the 27-yard line. Colton Carson lines up in the gun. Fumble. And let's see. Looks like he may have recovered it, but it's going to be for a loss.
Great start by the Bulldogs, Steve. As you well know, this team had a difficult time moving the ball against the Bulldogs the last time they met. A lot of penalties helped this team. Little jitters by Carson right there, but if you're the Bulldogs, this will be a big stop, and this will be a good test for them right now. It's a powerhouse offense. See if they can shut them down.
It's a 6-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 16 with the ball on the 21-yard line. Well, getting some of it back is Turner. About a 10-yard carry there. Completion. It'll be 3rd and 6. So, as you suggested, John, if the defense can hold right now, that would be a tremendous boost for the Dogs here.
Carson, one of the best quarterbacks in high school football right now. He's going to get that arm going and get it going early. They've got to tighten up the coverage.
He's actually the Class A North Player of the Year. Here we go. He looks left. Too far out for Johnny Pruitt. So Oxford Hills will punt.
Yeah, Pruitt wide open on that play too. Just couldn't get the ball over there to him, a little high once he settles down. But Portland's got to be pleased, but they've got to make adjustments on their coverage. 2 wide open players right there.
The Dogs, this is their 5th time in 6 years that they have played in the Class A North Regional Final, including the last 4 years in a row.
Yeah, what a tribute to Coach Hartman and his staff. Not a lot of players, and they seem to take what they have and turn them into excellent football players.
The punter is Yannick Luksha. He is a partial block, it looked like, and a fair catch called by Ben Stasium at the 41.
Yeah, that's where you want Stasium down. On the ground. You don't want his wheels going, and they almost bad snap, and they almost blocked that, Steve.
You know, it was so much fun to interview these players yesterday on the field before practice, and we're grateful to Coach Hartman for that opportunity. Ben Stasium, we spoke with him, and he talks about liking to make the big play and looking to see where he can make an impact, and all year long he's done that.
Yeah, great senior year, junior year, sophomore year. He's a heck of an athlete.
And Jamal Mariba takes the carry, gets about 5-yard gain.
Mariba, one person to beat, and he was off to the end zone. Nice to see him getting the ball early. You know that they're keying up on Elowich, so the first handoff to Mariba.
Well, again, you know, Coach Hartman has a bag of tools, and he's got Elowich in the backfield now. Mariba blocking. And that's what happens. He runs into his own man and still gets the first down. 6-yard carry, 1st and 10, Dogs. Also want to tell you that the lineman of the year in the Class A North is Koa Farnsworth. And the Oxford Hills players on the all-conference team for offense are Colton Carson, Yannick Lucha, and again, Luksha as kicker. We'll continue this in a moment. 1st and 10, ball on the 48. The pitch is to Elowich on the right side. It's going to gain about 2 with forward progress, we think, possibly 3. On defense, Oxford Hills players, Austin Dowdy, J.J. Worcester, Parker LaFrance, Alex Turner. And all academics, Alexander Fox, Austin Dowdy, Cameron Slicer, Colton Carson, O'Neill Brown, Ryan Cabral, and Travis May for Oxford Hills. It's again Elowich. You can't find anything that time. And that time, he is brought down by, among others, looked like Michael Bonang. Not sure. Well, number 13, number 43 is Cole Dunham.
Yeah, Vikings doing a great job making adjustments, keying in on Elowich and putting everybody up on the box in the line. Bulldogs got to read that and call their audibles on that, but that was 2 plays in a row where they're keying right on Elowich and coming up with a big stop.
2-yard loss there. It'll be 3rd and 10. Ball in the 48. Screen pass to Elowich. First down. 11 yards.
Great job spreading the field, moving them out with the receivers and letting Elowich get some real estate. We know he get his legs going. He's going to get a first down. Nice job.
The all-conference team players for Portland, running back Zach Elowich, Koa Farnsworth, lineman Ben Levine, offensive line, Chris Vincent, offensive line, utility Grant Jacobson. We'll continue that in a moment.
So we've got the best of the best facing off tonight, Steve.
We really do. So many players on this all-conference team. Second one through is Elowich. Spins. Gains a very hard 2 yards. The defensive players, all conference, Nate Kaponga, who we spoke with yesterday, Jonah Green, Ben Trefethen, and Ben Stasium. The all academics, Ben Stasium, Tyler Blajewski, Zach Elowich, Ben Levine, and Silo Magno for Portland. 2nd and 8 from the 34. The pitch comes to the left side. It's Elowich, finds a hole, spins, and carries about 7 yards.
Yeah, just another great run. We're going to be saying this all night. The key is get it to Elowich, and he gets tied up actually at the line of scrimmage or enough for a loss without that strength breaking free and second and third efforts. And we keep talking about that, but that is so important. This is a very physical team the Vikings have, and it's going to be difficult for the Dogs, but they're doing a great job of it right now.
So as Sam Nope goes and gets the play from Coach Hartman, it's going to be 3rd and 1 from the 28. This is certainly 4-down territory for the Dogs in any event. But don't worry. Well, we'll see. I think forward progress gets them, moves the chains, but I'm not sure if I'm not sure the officials agree at the moment, given where they're standing.
Yeah, that's a good spot right there.
Yeah, first down. We don't need no stinking field goal. 1-yard carry. Of course, we say that. We have such a great kicker in Christo Vumpa.
And that was the difference of a victory last time these 2 teams met, was a field goal.
Very true. Ariba straight up the middle. He carries for 4 yards. Vumpa and Yannick Luksha tied in points at the end of the regular season. Luksha got the all-conference kicker, and you have to figure that's because he's a senior and Christo Vumpa is a freshman. Because he did not miss at all this year. Though he did miss 1 field goal attempt out of 3, I believe. Elowich up the middle, and that time he's brought down rather quickly by David Dingley and company. 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 4. We did see Christo Vumpa hitting 40-yard field goals before the game.
Oh, he definitely has the leg for it, no question about it.
Of course, back in the day, John, we saw John Williams hit 60-yard field goals.
How is John? What he's doing now?
I don't know. We saw him at a basketball game and had a few words, and I guess he's doing all right in college.
Hopefully good words.
Yeah, very much so. Fumble, and fell on very quickly by Sam Nope. So that's going to be a loss.
So here you go right here. Do we go for a field goal here, or they're going to go for it?
They'll probably go for it. I think it's still a little bit out, but You don't really see much by the way of going for field goals in high school ball, it seems. It's going to be, it was a 1-yard loss. It's going to be 4th and 5. The Oxford Hills defense is pumped up. It's a fake. Oh, over the middle and to Grant Jacobson in the tight end position, a crossing pattern, and it was incomplete.
Yeah, great pass right in Jacobson's hand. He should have caught that, and that would have been a first down, but just couldn't hold on to it.
The conditions out there are damp, although it's not raining as though it was going to be. It's actually a fairly cold night tonight, cool out there. It'll be 1st and 10 Oxford Hills from the 21. That was an awful lot of work for no points, it seemed, but great. A lot of possession, as there's only 3:40 left here in the first quarter. We have one in motion. Carson takes it himself and is swallowed up pretty quickly by Jonah Green and Nate Kapunga.
Just a great job, that defensive line doing it all year long, just jamming those holes, no place to go. And, we saw this at Oxford Hills. They just pinned Carson down, and that's what they got to do tonight. In the crowd, you remember the energy up there from that hometown and the big bonfire they had before the game. It looked like a small town they were burning outside the stadium.
It really did. The fire department was there, and the field, the stands are closer to the field. So you get such an intense feeling up there. I'm glad we didn't have to go there, though the barbecue was good, the pregame barbecue. There's a flag on the play. And we'll see what the indication is here. It's a false start on the part of Oxford Hills, so they'll move back a little bit. It'll be 2nd down and 16. The ball will be on the 15-yard line. It's 46 degrees currently on the field. And it's possible that we're going to get some rain in here within the next hour.
You do weather too, huh? You're everything. No wonder you're the most popular man in Poland.
Yeah, right. A legend in my own mind. There we go. That's a completed pass to number 15, Parker LaFrance. As Oxford Hills gets a fair amount of yardage there, there's going to be a conference here to see whether or not there's a first down. And we have a timeout regardless. So with 2:42 left in the first quarter, the score, Bulldogs nothing, Vikings nothing. So here we go, 3rd and about 1 yard to go. Oh, yeah, there's might be offsides on the part of one of the Portland linemen. We'll see.
Yeah, Carson going doing a hard count, and that's exactly what they wanted, to draw the Bulldogs offside. They're usually good for 1 or 2 of those a game, so there you go. There's your first down.
Well, last week the Bulldogs had just 2 or 3 penalties, I think, in the playoff game against Edward Little, and really showed a great deal of maturity in that game, and resounding win, 49-14, I believe.
Yeah, great disciplined football, and when they met before in Oxford Hills, it was a lot of unsportsmanlike 15-yard penalties. So let's hope they can keep that down so that doesn't come back and bite them.
I got it.
Some of the fans didn't like that call, but I guess that's what happens in a football game. It's 1st and 10, ball on the 35.
1st and 10 to the 35.
Carson in the gun. Handoff, and Vincent's going to bring LaFrance down for a loss.
Yeah, great penetration by Vincent, pushing that right on the outside and no place to go.
But a 3-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 13. The ball will be on the 32. So here we go. Carson takes a snap. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete in the flat to nobody. I guess his intended receiver was tight end J.J. Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester, a big target, 6'1", 220 pounds, just couldn't get it to him. Carson hasn't really settled down with his arm yet. And, we saw that earlier up in Oxford Hills. Once he wasn't that accurate that night, but we know he can be.
And he might get to test it right now because it is 3rd and 13. And instead, it's a jet sweep, and watch out. It's not going to get very far, though, as Janak Lucha takes the ball. And really just gets about 2 yards.
Yeah, Ben Trethethan, great job on shooting that gap. Almost got him in the backfield. Bulldogs doing a great job on the line. The Vikings really getting nowhere on the running game.
So with 4th and 11, well, let's see. Very interesting lineup here. Blocked by Portland. And Portland will take the ball at just about midfield. So the Portland player showing some prowess and not going after that ball. Did take about a 20-yard roll, and here we go. Nope, keeps it, and watch out as he is brought down hard by Cade Truman.
Yeah, Nope takes a pop from Truman on his blind side. Just doesn't see him coming in.
Back to the 44. Coming number 14.
Second down. Elowich cuts through, but great penetration by Oxford Hills. They've got quite a crowd here. That was Janak Lucha who broke through the first one.
Yeah, they got to hit their blocks, Steve. They're just not hitting their blocks right now, and it's going to be frustrating for Coach Hartman. You can see him down there in the field. We know the Bulldogs can move this ball. They did it the last time they met, averaging about 6 yards a carry the last time, so they can do it.
Well, the Dogs will take the snap right before the end of the quarter, and Elowich will get a bunch of those yards back as he gains about maybe 9 yards or so, it seems. So we're going to start second quarter action with the score, 0-0. So 4th down, and Elowich will punt. Picked up at the 15. And brought down at the 21 or so is Michael Bonang. So it'll be 1st and 10, Oxford Hills, deep in their own territory. Of course, Carson is a threat, always a deep threat to get to one of his players. As we said earlier, he had an 86-yard pass to Turner in the playoff game against Chevrolet.
No, whether he's running or passing, they've got a key on him, and they've done a great job so far.
1st and 10. 1 in motion. 2 wide. And up the middle, spinning, but not getting much yardage is Parker LaFrance. Maybe a yard. The way the Press Herald had it today, if it does start to rain, that could favor the Bulldogs, who are used to playing in bad weather on their good turf.
Yeah, and Bulldogs got a strong running game, and that's going to shine as we move forward into the game. And, of course, the rain and the slippery balls is not going to help the Vikings out at all.
2nd and 9 from the 22. Carson back to throw. Wide open. And still on his feet is Alex Turner.
Yeah, we've seen this before. Turner, just a tough kid to take down, and they can't leave him uncovered out there, wide open. They have got to pick him up. Turner is tough to bring down, always has been.
First and 10 from the 41. Keeps it. Carson finds some room and he gets a nice gain. He gets 7 or 8 yards out of that. So Oxford Hills moving the ball.
Yeah, stringing some plays together, getting the fans into it a little bit, some noise coming from that side. They're feeling some confidence.
It's going to be 2nd and 2 from the 49. Well, we'll see. Looks like they're going to throw, but we'll see. And Carson's going to keep it. He's going to come to the outside. He's going to get the first down and much, much more. All the way down to the 21-yard line of Portland.
Well, this is what you didn't want to see if you're the coach of the Portland Bulldogs, and that is they're doing a great job closing that edge down. And Carson, just athletic with a big stride, gets running downhill and just tough to take down.
But a 28-yard run for Carson there. First and 10, ball on the 21. Carson backs in there and gets about 2. Trefethan on the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 19. Of course, they're well within Luksha's range here. So they're going to be get to be creative. Really a screen pass to Luksha brings it all the way down to the 9. About a 10-yard carry there.
The Vikings just doing a really nice job throwing different looks at the Bulldogs. Everything's working for them. The outside run, quarterback keep, passes over the middle and the flats. Right now, if you're the Bulldogs, you're not quite sure how you can stop this team, Steve.
Well, and that's why they're ranked number 2, and they're 7 and 2, where the Dogs are 8 and 1. They beat Bonnie Eagle this year. It was a big win. Cross-conference win for Oxford Hills. Carson fakes. Nice defensive effort by Zach Elowich, and who made one of the game-saving plays up in Oxford Hills when he had that interception towards the end of the game.
He did. He had a nice read on it. They knew that was coming.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 9. And we're going to have a timeout, Oxford Hills. 7:52 left in the first half. 0-0 is the score. 2nd and 9 after the timeout. Carson keeps it. Pitches it. Second, third, and fourth effort, and we'll see the indication is a touchdown. Yannick Luksha, a 9-yard run. I don't know how they credit that because, Carson got the first 2 or 3 yards. And he was, I guess he was behind the line of scrimmage, though. If he, it looked, otherwise it was a pass.
It was a lateral. Quarterback option. Yeah, and just a great Oxford Hills picking. I mean, great job blocking. Trethuffin was heading back there to tackle him and picked him up on a block.
Luksha up and through. It's 7-0 with 7:40 left in the first half. So, too deep for Portland. And it's going to be Stasium. About a 10-yard return for Ben Stasium. So really a hallmark of the Bulldogs all year has been their blocking, and which is why they have so many linemen in the all-conference team. And
they're just not hitting their mark right now. They're running by players, and they've got to make some adjustments. We saw great blocking with the Vikings the last drive. See if the Bulldogs can put something together and get the momentum back in their side.
Well, they'll be on the 22-yard line as they start right now. The pitch comes to Elowich. And really the beginning of that tackle was Cole Dunham. He does gain 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Dunham does a nice job coming from the other side and just pursuing him. And they knew going into this, they're going to have a chance to beat the Bulldogs. They're going to have to shut down Elowich.
So far, they've been pretty successful.
They've done a good job.
Stasium is just brought down for a loss on the sweep. About a 3-yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 11. Here comes Elowich.
Well, this is where the Vikings were dreaming of getting the Bulldogs. They're limited in their play calling. They're not confident on their passing game right now. They're just keen up on Elowich. So they're now controlling, obviously, both sides of the ball and forcing the Bulldogs on a quick 3 and out.
That's an interesting move. A fair catch is called for at the 42 by Michael Bonang, or 43, and that's where Oxford Hills will take over 1st and 10 with 5:10 left in the first half. So the score is 7-0 here as Oxford Hills takes over 1st and 10 from their own 43. And that's a nice defensive effort as LaFrance is brought down. By Grant Jacobson and Vincent and others. 4-yard loss. 2nd and 14, ball on the 39-yard line. And that's the kind of defense that keeps you in these games, John.
Yeah, they're not getting much up in the middle, but they are getting the corners and they're getting the passing over the middle. We'll see where they go to right now, but probably going to be a quick pass.
And it is, as he looks left, the middle of the field, and the closest players to that ball were Stasium and Elowich. As looks like it might have been intended for Johnny Pruitt.
Yeah, I think he was anticipating Pruitt cutting back in towards the middle of the field. So it looks like a miscommunication there, or Pruitt was just didn't complete his route.
So it'll be 3rd and 14 from the 39. Wide to us is Addison Brown, covered by Mariba. Carson goes back, looks for an open man downfield, and it is intercepted. Stasium once again.
Yeah, Carson just, instead of hanging on to it, just trying to force it in there on two-man coverage, and Stasium just tracking it all the way in. That's a nice pick.
Well, he says he looks for his moments, and every game this year he has seemed to have one or two great moments, as well as just an all-around great player and great young man. Elowich is just, well, look, he gets away from one. He's not going to go down easily, but the penetration is just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's just not getting the blocking. The Bulldogs are not pushing off the line and giving Elowich just a little bit of real estate to get going, and Zach is just taking quite a beating out there early.
It's about a 1-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 11. It's going to get no gain, so it'll be 2nd and 10. No gain, no loss. The fake gets up in the air, and we have a penalty. Now, Jacobson went down.
Yeah, I got to watch this. That could go either way. That could go against the Bulldogs. It looks like he pushed off, and that's exactly what he did. Sammy Nope just throwing it up for grabs. I mean, it was a not a well thrown ball. Plenty of time for everyone to key in on it, and Jacobson probably just knowing that he didn't have the beat on it, just tried to break it up a little too early so it wouldn't get intercepted.
It's a 10-yard penalty, a 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty is no longer on draw ball on the 8-yard line.
Call a personal foul. It's offensive pass interference, 15-yard penalty. 2nd and 24. And here comes Elowich. It's a race. Touchdown, Zach Elowich. No flags on the play. 82-yard run from scrimmage.
Yeah,
Zach Elwich.
absolutely, and the place is going nuts right now. They needed something to cheer about. Elowich, we knew was going to be the guy that could do it if they could give him a little bit of room, and off to the races he went, the fastest man on the field, Steve.
And it was there for everybody to see
There's
because
no
he
question
was just
about
being
it.
chased by about 6 people. An important kick for Vumpa. And just like every other kick he's had this year, it's good. He's got over 50 extra points this year, I believe, which just tells you how many touchdowns the Dogs have scored as well.
Absolutely, and what a heartbreak for Oxford Hills, giving up that big play. They've had Portland pinned down there, 2nd and 24, and to give up that run. Let's see if the Bulldogs can add on to this. So they've got 3 minutes left. Let's see if they can do a quick 3-and-out, Steve, and get the ball back in the second half.
Well, it's tied up right now, and I'm not sure. Vumpa may have about 47 or 48 extra at this point because he have 7, I think, against Edward Little. And he had 40 for the year prior to that. Vumpa, the big, strong kick, picked up at the 15-yard line by Luksha. Watch out. He is brought down by Stasium. Looks like Mariba and Anthony Thack.
This guy used to be in the booth right there. Long time ago.
First and 10, 36-yard line. Carson keeps it. Gains a couple.
Nice job on Chris Vincent. You know, this is where they're relying on is Carson to get the momentum back on their side, and not to let him go 5-6 yards down the field on first down is huge, holding him to a couple yards. Good job by the Bulldogs defense and Vincent containing him as best they can.
Still so exciting, that play by Zach Elowich, and the crowd is quite silent, really on both sides right now.
Well, it took all their energy cheering.
2nd and 8. Carson keeps it, finds some room, chased from behind by Chris Vincent.
Carson does a nice job just tucking that in, you know, a play fake. Really couldn't see that. Vincent just picking it up after he went by him to make a tackle. That could have been a big play.
It's a 4-yard gain. You'd give him credit for 5. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 43. Carson keeps it. And he's going to get the first down as he's brought down by Vincent. And also Kapunga's in on it. And so is Ben Trefethan and Zach Elowich. Dana 7. It'll be 1st and 10. 1:08 left here in the first half.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Ball on the 50-yard line, midfield. There's 43 seconds left for the Oxford Hills to do something. Middle of the field, and again, almost intercepted. That time by Giovanni Mabunji.
Yeah, it was intended for Bogan, and again, just not there. Carson's accuracy is probably average right now, but he's had some open players if he can get it out to him.
And we have a correction. Number 54 tonight is Ben Levine. And so he was the closest man to that ball. We've seen him be 42. We've seen him have a few numbers.
Ben can do anything, including wearing different numbers.
As a matter of fact, he can, and we talked about that, and that's one of the things we talked about. Oh, my gosh, right on the fingertips of Alex Turner. That tells you the kind of player that Colton Carson is.
Yeah, great pass. Carson delivered on that one, and that was catchable, and that was a touchdown. So, Oxford Hills wants that back again.
Dave Levine doesn't know this, but we also spoke about Dave Levine's football prowess and his knowledge and love of the game. So that's an interview that has been aired. Now he might knows it now if he has watched the interview.
And Dave's wearing a different number up here in the booth tonight. So the Levine family just can't settle on a number.
3rd and 10. Brought down by who else? The Class A North sack leader, Nate Kaponga. With 20 seconds left, that's going to be how the half is going to end, 7-7. And you have to say, the way that was played and the way that Oxford Hills moved the ball, the Dogs will take that and be quite happy with that at halftime.
Yeah, absolutely. Vikings doing a good job moving the ball. They had the momentum, that one big play. Hartman's got to get him back in there and take a look and make some adjustments. Both teams got to play mistake-free football in the second half.
So Mike Hoffer and John Kilbride, 7-7 at halftime. What a run by Zach Elowich.
It really turned the game around because I tell you, Oxford Hills was feeling great about itself. There were some kids on the Portland sideline that were getting down a little bit. Some of the captains were trying to get them fired up. And my goodness, did that ever turn momentum? And Portland needed that badly. But, kudos to Oxford Hills. They've come to play tonight. And they've got the game right where they wanted, I think. That first Portland drive, it looked like it was shades of the first game. They were going to have a long touchdown march. Oxford Hills held them off. Then they drive to go ahead, and now it's a brand new ball game as we go to the second half. This could really go either way. I think both teams have to feel good about their chances.
Well, John, Zach Elowich had 125 yards, including that 82-yard run and a touchdown. But they've held Colton Carson 4 for 12, 42 yards, 53 rushing, and Lucia to 11 yards with that one TD. The defense is still firing pretty well tonight.
Yeah, they got to hold the corners on Carson. They can't let him get downhill. He's a big kid. He's a powerhouse, and it looks like they made some adjustments here towards the end of the second half to contain him. But more importantly, Zach Elowich just really stepping up. Portland's got to do a better job in blocking and give him some real estate to get going, and we saw that in that last play where he broke it for 82 yards. Definitely the fastest young man up there in the field tonight. I've never seen anyone run that fast before.
Well, folks, it promises to be an exciting second. Both Carson and Elowich could be in the running for the Fitzpatrick Award. It's going to be a very exciting contest in that regard. We're going to bring you second half action in a moment. So the rains have come exactly at 8 p.m., John.
Meteorologist Steve Schwartz.
Picked up at the 25 by Stasium. He gets into the middle. There's a flag on the play. So we'll wait to hear what that is all about. A cold rain might favor the Bulldogs, although there's a penalty on the Bulldogs. Well, I can't really tell. The indication is you would imagine it's a hold, and it is. So it comes back. The Dogs, who had deferred for the opening kickoff, get possession, but they'll be a little deeper in their own territory here at the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. And it's not just a little rain, it is pouring out there. Elowich is brought down for a loss. Number 32 in on that is Cade Truman.
He'll be in the way, just shy of 40.
Up the middle, nice completion by Nope to number 85, Tyler Blazewski.
A name that we don't call that often, Steve. Nice catch. The ball's wet. Able to secure it up and give it a big first down and get him out of that red zone.
It's a 6-yard completion. Excuse me, a 15-yard completion. Here we go, rolling right. Short pass, 9-yard pickup to Stasium.
Yeah, beautiful rollout pass. The Vikings putting everybody up, thinking it was Elowich, and the Bulldogs rolling out and just getting good 9 yards on that play and keeping the ball moving in this heavy rain, cold rain.
The referee will dry it off. It's 1st and 10, ball on the 45. Make that 2nd and 1. Straight up the middle. Elowich, oh my gosh. 2nd, 3rd, 4th effort. And he carries it 5 for a first down.
Geez, I thought he was down after a yard, Steve. I just kept going.
First and 10 from the 39, John. Elowich with the ball. Continues to move up. Had wrapped up one arm by number 24, Luksha.
You know, Zach ceases to amaze me. He's not getting the blocking that he's used to. The good penetration by the Vikings. He sees the lane, he cuts back, and he's able to turn positive yards, but there's a flag, and that's probably going to be against the Bulldogs. And we talked about this at the beginning of the game. They've got to control the penalties. This is what hurt them before and takes the momentum right away from them. It's their 4th penalty for 40 yards.
Well, nice effort by Jacobson, but a little too far. Pleading his case to the referee, but that was really not really catchable, I don't think.
No, good coverage by the Vikings. I don't know what he's pleading, but we know he's a vocal young man.
Maybe he'll be an attorney someday.
I was just going to say that. He just doesn't take no for an answer.
So 2nd down and 19 to go. Ball on the 48 for the Dogs. Rolling out right. Great defensive effort there by Parker LaFrance as he bats it down.
Yeah, not much for Sammy Nope to do there. They were bearing down on him. He had to get rid of that and start over again.
But saying that, he's coming out with authority. He's got, getting a good throw on the ball, good spiral, tight spiral that, almost was caught over here the play before. And, in the rain doesn't seem to be phasing him.
No, they're not making adjustments. They're not sticking with the running game. They're spreading out the field. Giving the Vikings a different look.
Moving up in the pocket Still a little bit too far ahead of Jacobson, though. But that was actually Brady-like, the way he stepped back.
Yeah,
Stepped up.
No, he's got to come back and hit him on that back shoulder. Have him come back for that first down. And
well, Elowich will punt. Oh, beautiful kick by Elowich. Oh, it's going to go into the end zone, but what a tremendous kick as it travels about 50 yards. So with 9:06 left in the third quarter, the score, Bulldogs 7, Vikings 7. So Oxford Hills back deep in their territory here on the 20. It's a rainy night here. Let's see how Carson does in the rain. His tight end is open and off to the races, but Zelowich is going to come after him and take him down at the 20. But Worcester with a huge, huge gain. ...60-yard completion.
Yeah, both teams coming out throwing it. It's a heavy, cold rain, and you think they would go with the running game, but not so. And a great completion by Carson, and that speed of Elowich saving the score, and we'll see if the defense can step up now and hold them.
Well, that was just the play that Oxford Hills needed. First and 10, ball on the 20. Keeps it, goes right, and is brought down quickly by Nathan Kapunga and and Cam Conley. You take a look at that rain outside, and you have to be happy that we're up here in the booth, John.
I'm always happy in a booth with you, Steve.
Well, looking out on the right side. Nice tackle by Cam Conley, or else Luksha was off to the races.
Yeah, we know those quick passes have worked for him for a good 5 or 6 yards. Bulldogs playing it well. They just got to complete that open field tackle and keep them pinned. Big third down right here. They are in field goal range with that powerhouse kicker they have.
Well, that's absolutely true. And, of course, the field goal was the difference, as you noted in the last game. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 13. Carson has plenty of time. Nice effort by Zach Elowich to deny Worcester.
Yeah, Elowich doing a good job getting that right arm right in the way, knocking that ball down, saving a first down, and setting them up for this very important field goal because they're battling for points in this game. Something that the Bulldogs haven't done all year is worry about points.
This is about a 30-yard field goal attempt. It's no good. And he either shanked it or it was touched.
Yeah, no, it's a bad snap, Steve. The snap came in high. This is the conditions. This is total conditions right here. That snap came in high. He had a hard time getting it down and just couldn't center it for the kick.
Well, the Dogs will take over now with 7:04 left in the third quarter.
Okay, here we go.
So here we go, folks. Ball on the 20. 1st and 10. There's a flag on the play as Nope takes the ball, gains about 2, but a flag in the backfield. And it's a false start on the part of the Dogs, so it'll be 1st and 15. The ball will be on the 15. You know, there are quite a few of these portable tents all over the field here in the stands, and when they were put up, we were almost wondering why, but we certainly know why now.
Oh, absolutely, and if I wasn't in here, I would make friends with those people real fast.
Right. The pitch comes to Elowich on the right side. He finds a hole and gains back a huge portion of that. About a 10-yard gain for Elowich as he continues to add to his total yardage tonight.
You know, we knew that the Bulldogs, this was on Zach Elowich, and that's a big statement to say, but him just catching up with that play and making that tackle and coming up with a big stop down here, this could be the game changer we could look back at for the Bulldogs.
That's right, and it's 2nd and 4 right now, and he takes the pitch again on the right side. And it looks like there's a fumble. It's recovered by Oxford Hills. So the rain benefits Oxford Hills that time around.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate, but we know that ball is slippery, and these things are going to happen.
So that was a 5-yard gain by Elowich, but unfortunately fumble, so it'll be 1st and 10 on the 34 going the other way now. And a misfire there, and Ben Trefethen punished Luxor for that.
Yeah, big miscommunication there by the Vikings, and you know they're in good field position, and to lose 10 yards just like that on a miscue is huge. He's lucky he didn't fumble the ball, Steve.
So 2nd and 18 on the 8-yard loss. And they do it again. And Luxor, you know, gets past about 3 Dogs before Cam Conley makes the tackle, and he gets up a little slowly. He's got
Carson taking
with him. Go ahead.
Carson taking a big hit that last play. Just getting rid of that ball and gets popped.
And it's no gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 18. Could be a big stop for the Dogs here. Too far out for Carson that time as he was looking for Luxor again. Now, you know, you have to figure that they're going to punt the ball and try to do a little, get it down as close to the goal line as possible.
Yeah, see if they can pin him. But, you know, starting with that miscue and losing 10 yards really set the tone for that drive for the Vikings and putting him out of field goal range.
About a month from now, this will be a 1-foot snowfall or 2 feet snow.
Well, you're right with the weather tonight, so why would I doubt you in a month from now?
Luxor punts, low kick, line drive. It's going to die at about the 15-yard line. Where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dogs, so he achieved what he intended to. It wasn't the prettiest of efforts, but he did it well.
Yeah, they're getting the rolls on the punt, no question about it. It's ugly coming off the foot, but they're getting the real estate with it.
First and 10 from the 15. Jacobson in motion. The pitch comes to Elowich.
Yeah, we have movement on the Dogs.
Once again, 5-yard penalty. It'll be a first and 15 with the ball on the 10. Once again, the penalty is getting the Dogs in trouble here again tonight.
Yeah, it's catching up with them.
I dare say I remember last year during the championship game when we were in Wyndham and it was cold and windy and miserable.
That was awful. And you called that forecast correct, too.
Boy, it takes a lot of people to bring Elowich down, but they did. And they did it for a loss, it looks like, or maybe a short gain. One-yard gain. So second, they'll give him credit for 2. It'll be second and 13, ball on the 12.
Second down, 13.
Coming the other way is Elowich. And it takes 5, Oxford Hills players to bring him down, but the fact is that they're there each and every time. That was Colton Carson with the tackle. On a 10-yard gain.
Good execution by the Dogs. 3rd and about 2. And it'd be a big first down for them to keep this drive going deep in their territory.
Elowich takes the carry again. Second, third, fourth effort. It's gets the first down.
Absolutely.
About a 4-yard carry. About 6.
And here's the thing, Steve. Everybody in the stadium knows it's going to number 24.
And in the words, was it Vince Lombardi? They can know it, but they still have to stop it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ball's on the 29, first and 10 Dogs. Mariba this time. And he is brought down first by Emerson Brown. We'll wait for the spot. He gets credit for a 4-yard gain. They'll be second and 6, ball on the 33. Elowich comes to the left side, and he is brought down by number 56, David Dingley.
Yeah, Zach dropped the ball again. He's got to reel that in. He's got the coach is he's one fumble away from a rescue call. Zach with 19 carries, Steve, just over 155 yards. Is something we see every game, but he's got to hang on to that ball, especially under these conditions, in this tight game.
Oh, my goodness. Now, I'm just going to say, that was Joey Esposito-like. We thought he was down. He picks up 10 yards. You remember days when Joey was brought down like that and he would just dive and torpedo ahead.
He's got great balance. We know that. He's a wrestler. He knows where the center of gravity is and gets that hand out and gets another 4 yards, just keeping himself off the turf.
First and 10 on the 49. Helowich again. 5 yards. Just under a minute left here in the third quarter.
I don't know if it's the rain that you forecasted, Steve, but those gold shoes are really sparkling out there right now. I don't know if they can see that on TV, but...
He's not the only one with gold shoes. Well, whoever that is, it's might be Jonah Green has got those gold shoes, I think. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
That was ill-fated. I don't know if that was by design or what happened there, but...
Yeah, it was a time and play. He felt he would be there if he could get it out there, and instead of just taking the loss in the hit, he was trying to make something happen and just threw it up for grabs, which is unfortunate.
Interception, Oxford Hills. It'll be 1st and 10 on the Dogs' 44-yard line. So the Dogs' threat is over. Lucia tries very hard to get... Now there's a flag on the play, but great effort there by Ben Levine on that first one in on that tackle.
Yeah, it looks like a chop block on the Vikings.
So more of a loss than it was.
And that's a big penalty.
That's going to come back 15 yards. So 1st and 25. I guess they don't like it when you do that, John.
No, it's a high injury block, and it should be 15 yards, absolutely.
That's going to be the end of the third quarter. The score, Vikings 7, Bulldogs 7. We'll be back with fourth quarter action in this Class A North Regional Final here on WPPS TV3, TV 1302. Here we go, fourth quarter action. 1st and 28. The ball is on the 37-yard line. Carson goes back. He's got plenty of time. Goes up the middle. Jonah Green spins around, gets the tackle. Kaponga finishes it. 3 yards he gets. So it'll be 2nd and 25.
Yeah, nobody opened downfield. He was taking a good look, but everyone was double coverage. 3rd sack for the Bulldogs tonight, and it's coming at a good time. You know, with a game like this, Steve, in deadlock, you got to be looking for who's going to make the mistakes. And Portland's made many, and they've given the Vikings many opportunities to capitalize on that.
So the ball on the 35, 2nd and 25. Low snap. Watch out, as there's a lot of room on the... Oh, my goodness. That is a tremendous carry by Parker LaFrance. Oh, there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looks like one of the linemen was held while he was trying to take that corner. And I think that's exactly what they're calling. That is a good call by the officials. You could see it up here.
So it'll be 2nd down and 30 yards to go.
Well, they probably get some type of play for that, don't they? 2nd and 30.
He's one of the few quarterbacks that might have a play for it. But
so how long is this rain going to last, Steve? Are we going to wrap this up in a little bit, or is this going for the whole game?
I think it's going to go through the whole game.
Right,
the way it's coming up the coast. In fact, there's some yellows in there and even a little red. So
those are bad. Those are bad.
I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. If this were winter, they might call it a meteorological bomb, cyclogenesis. I don't know.
I'm telling you, you're going to put these meteorologists out of business. They are...
It'll be 2nd and 29, ball on the 36 as it's spotted where it is. 11:02 left in regulation. And everybody was fooled on that one. Watch out, folks. First down and much, much more for Colton Carson. Elowich with the tackle. The ball's on the 35.
Yeah, Carson doing a great job sucking that whole defense to the right side and clearing a nice lane, and that speed, it's off to the races.
About a 44-yard carry by Colton Carson. And that is a...
Well, you know what? We saw that when Elowich tracked him down and the Bulldogs held him. We know they can hold him down here in the red zone. They got to step up again and not give up the big plays.
Timeout, Oxford Hills. 10:51 left in regulation. 7-7 is the score, and the Vikings are threatening. Well, you see the water just pouring off of that bench there, John, and it is just soaking. It's soaking rain right now. Carson's got the ball, and great penetration by Cam Conley. He's having a great defensive game tonight.
Carson looks like, Steve, he reminds me of Cam Newton out there, doesn't he? He's big guy. Just you don't know if he's going to keep it. He can tuck it and hide it, throw it.
Well, he's such a great athlete, and he signed a letter of intent to University of Maine for baseball on a scholarship. Second and 10.
He's got him open.
Touchdown. 25-yard touchdown pass. Carson to Alex Turner with just under 10 minutes left. As Luksha will come out now, try to make it a 7-point game.
Yeah, Turner had Stasium turned around, and Ben just couldn't adjust in time to see that coming and make adjustments, and he was wide open in the end zone.
Well, there's an effort there by great effort by Ben Stasium, but it goes through the uprights. It's 14-7. It's a one-touchdown lead for the Vikings with just under 10 minutes left in regulation. Here we go. Luksha with a strong kick, picked up at the 15-yard line by Stasium, and he brings it out to the 35. Nice 25-yard return. 20-yard return by Stasium. It'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 35 for the Bulldogs here. A very, very important possession for the Dogs as they are down by a touchdown. Elowich running into 4 Vikings after a 2-yard gain. Straight up the middle, Jamal Rariba. And folks, here we go again. Jamal Mariba, touchdown, no flags. On the play just that quickly.
Yeah, Mariba exploding through that line, and the linemen just doing a great job in hitting their blocks, and that's all Mariba needed, just 10 yards, and he was gone. Here's one of his biggest kicks of the year right here in the pouring cold rain. The ball is wet, and we saw problems with this with Oxford Hills, but
on the 63-yard touchdown run by Mariba, the kick is good and the score is tied. Here we go. Ball picked up at the 21. And Alex Turner is brought down by Ben Levine. And Aiden DeMillo.
Great job by the Bulldogs. You can see them now with the weather, the ball being wet. Ben Levine going after that ball, trying to knock it loose. 8:45 in the game. It's tied up. The emotions are high on both sides right now. See who can hang on to the ball, make mistake-free football, and who can take advantage of a mistake. And Portland's made many, and Oxford Hills hasn't capitalized on it yet.
So 8:45 left now. What a game we have here, John. Just tremendous effort by both teams. There's a timeout on the part of the Bulldogs here. So with 8:45 left in regulation and the score tied 14-14, we'll be back in a moment. 1st and 10 from the 37. Here we go. After the Dogs talk it over. Low snap, fumble, picked up for a loss by Luxa. Grant Jacobson in first on that tackle. So the ball is very wet.
And it's cold. Those hands are cold. You can see them down there trying to keep their hands warm.
Second down to 11. Ball behind 36.
Yeah. Here we go. As the clock ticks down, it'll be 2nd and 11 from the 36. 1 yard loss. Carson back to throw. What an effort as he had Addison Brown open.
But it looks like there was movement for the Vikings, which is going to push him back another 5, Steve.
It'll be 2nd and 16 from the 31-yard line. Excuse me, from the, that's what it's going to be. So they declined the illegal formation penalty. It's 3rd and 11, ball on the 36-yard line. A lot of pressure on Elowich and Stasium at the corners. This time Carson keeps it, and he cannot get past Jamal Mariba. What a 6-yard carry. So there'll be another punt here by Luke Stasium.
Stadium team for Portland.
Stadium lets it roll. It's going to take a tremendous roll.
What a punt. High snap. Portland really not sending it, but able to get his foot into it and get a spectacular kick, pinning the Bulldogs down there with 6:50 remaining in the game. And, you know, if you're the coach of Oxford Hills, this is perfect. You want the Bulldogs to make a mistake, maybe fumble the ball, look for anything that give you that advantage again.
That's right. I mean, and it's certainly possible with 6:50 left here, deep in their own territory. The Dogs at 1st and 10 on the 8-yard line. And just up the middle is Mariba.
Yeah, good call by the Bulldogs. Just give it to Mariba, pick up 4 yards, keep the clock going. They know that they've got some big breaks up at the middle. That's where they've had their 2 big runs.
Elowich takes the pitch on the left side, 1st down. About 10-yard gain for Elowich there. He's been gaining chunks of yardage like that all night. 6:06 left in regulation. 1st and 10, ball on the 22. Mariba straight up the middle, and he is brought down quickly by, among others, Austin Doughty. So, about a 1-yard carry. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Really a tough drive for these young guys, Steve. They're cold. You can see them jumping up and down, trying to keep warm, hoping that they play mistake-free football these final minutes.
Fumble. And that is exactly, although it looks like the Dogs recovered, but that's exactly what you just said. That, you know, the Oxford Hills coaching staff, Mark Soren and company, hoping for that to happen.
I mean, you can see Sammy Nope coming to the sidelines getting the play call, and he could barely move. He's soaking wet right to the bone. And you watch these guys, and this is tough. This is really on both sides of the ball, and I give them a lot of credit. It's who wants it,
no
right?
question, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's there's so little time left here, 4.5 minutes. Ball is spotted on the 20. It's 3rd and 12. And will they go with what brought them here? They will. Elowich takes the carry, but this time he's going to be swarmed for maybe gets a yard, but he'll now be punting for the Dogs. No rush. It takes a little bit of an Oxford Hills roll, and the Oxford Hills Vikings will have the ball within Portland's territory here with 3:44 left in regulation. So the ball's on the 42, 1st and 10. Carson with the ball straight up the middle. Watch out, boy. He was saved by, or the Dogs were saved by Ben Stasium outstretching for that tackle.
Yeah, in these final minutes, Steve, just like Portland going to Elowich, Carson's going to keep it. It's pouring rain, they're cold. He's a tough kid to stop. His size, his speed, he's just going to keep this ball until they stop him driving down to the end zone.
14-yard carry for Carson, and you know, if they're going to score, you hope it'll be quick so that the Dogs will have some time, but my goodness. 3:18 left here in regulation, and the ball is 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line. And Carson carries, gains about 3. Thing is that, you know, when you talk about who wants it, Colton Carson certainly wants it.
Yeah, absolutely. And many players on the other side of the ball, too.
Yep. Wouldn't it be ironic if this came down to a field goal?
Yeah, very well could. Very well could. The Vikings obviously not in a rush. They're draining the clock with 2:36 remaining. They feel confident they can move it, at least in the field goal range.
This time, Chris Vincent, Nate Kapunga, and Grant Jacobson in on that tackle.
Big defensive stop right here, 3rd and 7.
Ball on the 25. Low snap, taken by Carson. He looks right. Too far out, and it would have been out of bounds anyway, as Ben Trefethen had a few steps out there. So now it's 4th down. You'd have to think that it's a little far out of Luksha's range. But
they know his range, so
you know, it looks like they.
I think if they felt that he could hit it, they'd put him out there to win the game. No question. And they're going to talk about it.
So instead, Luksha is coming out here for a 42-yard kick.
Now he's
and
up
that's
short.
going to come short. And it will be Dogs ball with 1.5 minutes left here in regulation. Can the Dogs move the ball 75 yards in 1.5 minutes? They've done it twice tonight almost.
They have, and
82 and 63, that's an average of about 75 or so.
Yeah, and I get the call. They're trying to win it. Carson, do you let him run with, throw it? It's absolutely miserable conditions out there, Steve. As we went on, we're seeing these kids run to the sidelines like they have diapers on. I mean, it's very difficult to see him move like this. But a little momentum change right there with that missed field goal, the 134. See what Portland can come up with. I don't think they'll go too risky with pass plays. I think they'll. Yeah, they're moving them on the 20-yard line. I don't think they're going to do anything risky. I think they're just going to give it to Elowich and see if he can break something.
Well, here we go. Elowich tries to break it, and he does to the right side. He's going to be brought out of bounds at the 45-yard line by Alex Turner. 25-yard carry by Elowich, and as you said, John, they're going to give it to Elowich and see what he can do.
See what he can do, and now there's new life in that offense right there. A lot of energy, 25 carries for over 200 yards for Elowich.
And he was brought out of bounds, so the clock stopped without the Dogs having to call one of their final 2 timeouts. Oxford Hills has 1. That's a fumble.
There's a timeout right there, probably, I would imagine.
Well, there's not at the moment.
Yeah, I get they got to hurry up on this. They've got some momentum. They just got to get in field goal range. Down at the 25, 20-yard line with these conditions. I'd call it right now.
Mariba is on the carry. The tackle is made by Worcester and Dingley.
You know, maybe they got that pass play they haven't run or the screen play. We know they got a powerhouse screen play. If they can get that down to the 20-yard line, 25-yard line, they got one of the best kickers in the state right now.
It's really amazing too, because as I say, at the end of the season, they were both tied at 40 apiece. I think Vumpa had missed 1 field goal. I think he was in the regular season 1 for 2, and I think a couple of PATs missed by Luksha on the other side. They tied it up somehow at 40-40, and then I think after that, just by virtue of the number of touchdowns that the Dogs had against Edward Little, Vumpa took over the scoring lead, but. Of course, Luxa got the all-conference honors, being the senior. And it is 3rd and 6. The ball is on the 49-yard line. And Stasium tried for that. That was just like a wet noodle, throwing a wet noodle.
Yeah, and I get it. They're trying to take a shot. They had a timeout, and
by the same token, the clock stops on the incomplete pass. Yeah, and the rain is just gonna
really
annihilate us here. And the winds are gonna pick up as well at some point here. And here comes Zach Elowich to punt the ball. And there's a whistle. We have a timeout, Oxford Hills, with 38.6 seconds left. 14-14 is the score. We'll see if we end up heading into overtime. So here we go. Zach Elowich set to punt the ball. It's a short, high punt. And it's going to be downed at about the 36-yard line where Oxford Hills will take over. There's only a half a minute left here, John.
Yeah, they're going to sit on it. I got to believe they got to sit on it. They don't want to turn it over down here. You don't want to turn it over down here.
Not only is this going to be our first overtime game this year, but this may be the first overtime game, presuming there's not a unbelievable play here.
Well, Carson could air it out, no question about it. I think he'll take maybe a couple shots down the side of the field. That's been working for him. So,
but if it were overtime, it'd be the first time, I dare say, that we've had in 4 years of doing this. And they're going to take the knee in the victory formation, so we are headed to overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good call.
There were a few eyes on me wondering if I was jinxing it, but I think that that's what's going to happen. So we're going to head to overtime with the score 14-14. So here we go, John. It's going to be overtime. The ball is placed on the 10-yard line.
Yeah. Absolutely pouring hard rain. The rain has really picked up right now. It's anyone's game. Portland's got 4 shots at it.
Elowich doesn't work that time. The rain is actually so strong you can actually it's just pounding on the field, the benches, the umbrellas in front of us. And the ball is now on the 12.
And on that hash mark, you want to bring it towards the center a little bit in case you've got to kick this in.
Elowich is the second man through. He does get it down. He gets about a 5-yard gain. Ball will be placed on about the 7. So it's 7 yards to a score, and what happens after if they don't score here is whether or not the issue is they'll bring out the kicker.
Yeah, it all depends on what they get here with Elowich. You know it's going to him. If he gets it down to the 2, I got to believe, well, he'll just get it in for a touchdown.
We'll take that. Touchdown. 21-14. That's a 7-yard touchdown run for Zach Elowich. And now Oxford Hills has a chance to match it.
They do, and if you're the Bulldogs, you've got to be focusing on Carson. He is, with this heavy rain, he's gonna keep it.
Vumpa remains perfect on the year. And that may have been his 50th PAT.
And probably the most important one under these conditions. A lot of pressure now on Oxford, not only to score, they've got to get that extra point in these conditions. A field goal won't do it. They've got to punch it in.
Here we go, folks. Oxford Hills, 1st and 10 from the 10. And it's raining in the booth. Oh, my goodness gracious. And Carson is brought down just shy of the touchdown as Trefethen knocks him out. But it's going to be 2nd down here and about 1 yard to score.
But we knew this. It was Carson and Elowich, and this is a boxing match, and these are the 2 players that these teams are going to go to down the stretch. I'm surprised he's not lined up over
so
center.
Folks, we are live. There's a penalty.
That's a good jump by the yards. If they didn't go off sides, that's a great play.
It's a motion penalty on Oxford Hills here in overtime.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 6-yard line. 2nd down.
Big penalty right here, and they got a key on Carson. He may toss it off to the right-hand side real quick.
It's 2nd and 6. Carson with the ball.
The fumble.
Fumble!
That's the dog ball.
Recovery.
That's the game.
The Bulldogs will win and will head to the state championship game. Jonah Green with the fumble recovery.
This place is lighting up right now. We knew it would come down to who's going to make a mistake, who can hang tough in these brutal conditions, and it was the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs win. They will play in the state game this coming Saturday between the winner of the Thornton Academy and the Scarborough game. Here comes the victorious Portland High School football team to their adoring fans.
What a game for the ages.
So, John, a 21-14 victory for the Bulldogs, really one for the ages. I'm not sure we ever saw a finish like this for the Bulldogs.
I mean, look at the smiles on our faces. We're up here. It's a nail-biter. Both teams deserving to win, no question about it. It was a great time up at Oxford Hills when they played. It was down to the final play, and we knew the weather was going to be an element, and Carson just having the game of his life, and unfortunately, fortunate for the Bulldogs, he fumbled it. You knew it was wet, and they were able to jump on it. But this could have gone either way. But what an exciting game! It was just great being here.
Well, there were a lot of superlatives in this game, and some other statistics to tell you about. Colton Carson had 127 yards rushing, 131 yards passing. Alex Turner had 115 yards and a touchdown. Turning it around the other side, Jamal Mariba had 86 yards rushing and 1 touchdown, and Zach Elowich 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. And in the end, it came down to Elowich and Carson.
Which we knew. We knew it was in the beginning. We knew that this was going to be a boxing match, and that's what it was when it went to overtime. We were saying off camera, it's Elowich on this side, it's Carson on this side. Who's going to make a mistake? And Carson. Carson blinked.
That's right.
And the Bulldogs fell on it, and here we go.
Here we go, all the way to the state championship game, playing it here at home at Fitzpatrick Stadium. And this is Steve Schwartz along with John Kilbride for Dave Levine, Luke Hill, and Mike Hoffer, saying so long from Fitzpatrick Stadium, where the Portland Bulldogs have defeated the Oxford Hills Vikings in the Class A North Regional Final 21-14. Good night.